Hello everybody, it's Michael from GetFitOver40.com with another video request. So if you keep the questions coming, I'm going to make the videos, and there's a lot of really great questions. Sometimes they come out of nowhere and I'm like, hey, that's a great question. I never thought of that. This is kind of one of them. And this video request is from Devon. I'm not going to say his last name. And here's his email. My name is Devon, and I wanted to get your personal opinion on physique. So, how you look aesthetically. And we talked about that when I was talking about how I wanted to get into a physique competition in November. And so, that's more about lifting weights for the aesthetically pleasing body, not necessarily to be super strong, although that's a byproduct of lifting weights, and some people do it just for that reason. But people do it for a number of reasons: overall health, strength, how it makes you look, right? All right, so he says, I know when I was younger and training, I always had a goal in my mind of how I wanted to look as far as proportions and overall mass. At first, I would look at other people's physiques, which is what we all kind of do. We look at other people, and we kind of, in what he says here, and imagine, so to speak, what his head would look like on their body. So, I think we've all done that. We look at somebody, we see them, and we go, hey, I'd like to look like that. Wonder what I look like that would look like if I had their physique, right? But then instead of imagining my head on their body, so to speak, I started imagining how good my own body could look. So more, instead of what do other people look like, what can he do with his body? How can he make it look better from his own perspective? Did you ever have a specific way you wanted your body to look when you were younger? Do you feel you achieved this goal? That's a really good question. I think over time, your perspective on what you're looking for changes, and from year to year, I think my opinion changes what I want. And even over the last few years, just a year ago, for instance, I was just trying to cut weight and get lean. I wasn't really overly concerned with putting much mass on. Then I kind of achieved that goal, and then it was like, hey, what's next? What do I want to do? And so the next thing that I wanted to do was put more mass on. So, when I was lean and lighter, I was happy, and I achieved the look that I wanted. And now I'm going for a little bit more bulky look, but I still want to be lean. So, I think it's always changing. When I was younger, I think I mentioned this in another video or a past video. When I was in grade 8, I was 5'11", so 2 inches shorter than I am now, and I was 120 pounds. And so back then I started working out, and that's when you're naturally, I can't remember how old you are when you're in grade 8, probably like 14 or something like that, 13, 14. Anyways, your body is hitting that puberty stage, and for men, it's like we get that testosterone rush, we're getting natural hormones. It's a very prime year for putting on specifically muscle. So, if you see someone who's really young, they're a teenager, and they've hit puberty, and they're starting to kind of, they get the huskier voice. Typically, they're going to have a little more acne, all that stuff. That means that their hormones are at their most efficient, probably, point in their life. So I went from 120 pounds up to, I believe it was about 165 pounds in probably less than a year. And so that was a huge gain. Now, I did gain a little bit of height. I think I grew a couple inches in that year. But I put on size and mass because everything was just, I had, at that age, you've got human growth hormone kicking in because you're growing. You've got testosterone, all those things. So I was happy back then to put that weight on, 6'1", 165 pounds. It's pretty light, but when you're like 14, 15 and you got some tone and you're kind of shredded and lean, it looks good. So it really depends on where you are in life. If you're in your 20s and your bros or your friends or whatever, they've got a certain look, you're probably going to want to achieve that look. And whatever it happens to be, you're going to kind of want to, potentially look similar or have a similar look, right? If that's what you're going for, if those are your training partners and your friends, people you surround yourself with. As you get older, right, maybe your goals are less elevated, I guess, right? If you're in your 40s or 50s, you may not even want to worry about a six-pack. For you, it's just getting the extra weight off because it's holding you back. It's not healthy, right? Throwing a little extra muscle on. It really depends on how much time you want to put into it, what you're willing to do, right? I go the extra mile, and I put a lot of time and effort into it. I've really put a lot of time and effort, especially these last This last year, it's been a lot of work, and specifically this last 3 months or so, I've been training really hard, and you know, I like it though. For me, I say really hard because it would be hard for someone else. They probably would think it's crazy over the top, but for me, I like it, I enjoy it. So for me, it's not that hard because I really do enjoy it. So, you know, I think basically what I'm saying is your goals are going to change all the time, depending on where you are in life, depending on what goals you've achieved. You might have a set goal to get to a certain weight and leanness. You get there and you're like, hey, I can take this further. Or you might say to yourself, wow, it's really hard to maintain this at a certain level, and I'm gonna bring it back to something that's a little bit more realistic for my lifestyle. So that's pretty much it. So again, Devon, thanks for the video request, question, the email. Again, people, followers, subscribers, Twitter people, Facebook, everybody, you can send me a video request to mike@getfitover40.com, and I will definitely do my best to try to answer any questions or give you my opinion or tell you about my personal experiences. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.